All right, well, let's get into Module 2 here and start talking about our work. If we want to look at the overall theme for Module 2, it's really about standards. Now, we're going to continue the process of analyzing websites, but we're going to do so through the lens of standards. We're going to read a lot about them and start to think about, while standards do promote effective design practices, it might not always be the best choice or the right choice to adhere to a set of strict standards. Now, before we start getting into the assignments, a couple of things I want to talk about, just assignments, I guess, overall, and handing them in. So two things that I really want to point out here. The first is that in any writing that you do, you should cite the readings for the week. There's a reason why I'm giving you readings to complete during the week while you have writing assignments. I just want to make sure that you're not only completing the readings, but that you are analyzing them in the proper way and you're able to apply them in the proper way. Now, there's no formal citation required. I mean, just put the author's name in parentheses after the sentence. We have only a small number of readings each week, so I'll know exactly what you're talking about. The second point here, and this one, is something that you should know from reading the syllabus, but I think it's worth mentioning again, and it's that presentation really counts and presentation matters in this class. Just think about how presentation plays in to the way that I will receive, what you're writing. And just to sort of continue this point, in the first week, remember we had the readings that included this picture that we talked a little bit about, the gas station picture. And the point of this is that although we like to sometimes say otherwise, we do judge books by their cover. We do allow our first impression to guide the way we think about something. And that could be said for, whether they're, recommendation papers that you write for work or really anything you're doing in a professional setting. If you hand in sloppy work, the person reading that paper immediately is going to assume that you didn't put the time into it or you didn't research it as much as you should have. So keep that in mind when you're turning in work for this class, that I do factor presentation into your overall grade. Again, I know it says it in the syllabus, but I wanted to mention it again. So with those two overall points behind us, why don't we move on here and what we'll be doing in Module 2. You've got some required reading, 4 articles in all. Again, it's a lot about standards, and there's a question that's asked in one of the articles. The title of it is, does standards stifle creativity? And that's one way to think about it. Another word that comes up a lot in this module is innovation, and whether or not adhering to standards restricts your ability to be innovative. And so I want you to think about that. Keep that question in mind. Do standards stifle innovation as you're reading those 4 articles? And I think it will spur some thinking as you move along, especially the 2 by Nielsen. You'll be thinking about that. As we then think about the individual assignments here, you've got a blog post that asks a pretty straightforward question, whether or not it's okay to ever break standards. Now, I'll tell you, there is not a real right or wrong answer here, so I'm not looking to say, okay, well, anyone that says yes is going to get 5 points, anyone that says no gets 0 points. So there's no fully right or wrong answer, but I will say that I do consider one answer more right than the other. And I won't say what that is now because I feel like that might be giving too much away. But I do want to show the example that I use when I answer this question. Let's see if I can pull it up on YouTube, and we'll see if our screen capture software lets us show it. This is the Fosbury flop. I'm not even sure if the volume will come through. The volume's not really necessary. And actually, I know that this is now in a commercial. There's a commercial for one of the car companies on that talks a lot about the Fosbury flop. And basically what you're seeing here is a high jump that redefined the way everyone competed in the high jump after Dick Fosbury did so at, I believe it was the 1968 Olympics. So you can go on YouTube, just type Fosbury flop, and you can see the whole thing if you'd like. But my hint in this assignment is that this is what I use as my example when supporting my answer.